Welcome back to WaterparkRanger's Let's Play Pikmin 2. Last episode, we continued further through the snaggered hole, and we're probably going to finish the dungeon this episode. I say probably because this is a very long floor. You've got water which is generated in odd little puddles, but fortunately they're not usually blocking the corridors, so you can lead your Pikmin right around there. However, to bring back the treasures, because the treasures are generally pretty large, the Pikmin will have to carry them through the center of the hallway. So that means you're going to have to use moves to carry them back. And what's really annoying is the antenna beetle's whistle range is right where I want to throw Pikmin at the poison pipe. And as I remember from the White Flower Garden, I'm not just going to run past these things anymore and hope that it works. Okay, antenna beetle, let's try and swarm you and defeat you. Next time you drop down, that is. There! No escape for you! Oh no, burrowing Snagret! That thing came out of nowhere! Oh no, that was evil! That antenna beetle was actually blocking where the burrowing Snagret was. Come to think of it, since this is a large space, I should have expected that the burrowing Snagret would appear here. Okay, burrowing Snagret, we're going for your head! We're not safe until your head is mounted on our wall! I don't care if you will retreat underground like the little Snagret that you are. There you are. And this time you're down. You're not going to eat any more Pikmin. Well, you'll... Oh, never mind. I don't think he even... Wait, yeah, he managed to grab one from the looks of it. But it didn't die. We saved it before it was eaten. There are a few good feelings as that in Pikmin. Saving one of your Pikmin from a... What? Another one? And a dwarf Bulborb? What is this madness? And all in such close proximity! We killed it before we could eat the Pikmin, though. That was friggin' sweet, you have to admit. And that one had a... The dwarf orange Bulborb had a treasure, too? How much treasure is in this room? There's 2 treasures there. There's another treasure over there. And if I'm not mistaken, there's another one back here. There are 4 treasures in this one room, right over here, in this one corner of the sublevel. I got a weird-ass layout this time. It's gonna take forever for us to carry these treasures back, so I think I'll just cut ahead until we can open the way back. Alright, after much waiting around and getting the poison vent out of the way and then getting the blue Pikmin to carry stuff back, I've brought back the Salivatrix. And in addition to that, because we've actually defeated all the enemies on this floor, I'm going to be getting more Pikmin using the Queen Candy Pop Bud. So, as you can see, wait for it to match the color of Pikmin that you want to multiply. And you say we want more blues. It gives you 8 more, which is really, really awesome. And I've actually thought that it was a good idea to speed up and just cut through a lot of the footage on this floor, because most of it's just going to be us carrying back the treasure. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll probably just cut ahead until the next treasure gets back here. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Alright, this thing looks like a normal plant, but the treasure gauge will let you know that this clover, which stands by itself, is actually its own treasure worth 20 Pokos, so just make sure that you don't miss it. The other thing that the dwarf orange Bulborb held was the, this weird little magnifying glass thing. I actually have one of these, which is kind of cool, I guess. And the last thing, actually I'm not really sure what this is. I know it's something Japanese, because I know it also appears in Melee. What is it? It has a certain name. Whatever it is, I know it's some kind of delicious, sweet tasting thing. Now before we go down to the next floor, we also have the Ivory Candy Pop Bud to use, so I'm going to go back and change those blue Pikmin into white Pikmin. Might as well do that. I got a really weird layout for this floor. Normally what happens is this floor is about at least 2 times larger, and everything is spread out a lot more. Like, all the treasures are spread out, all the enemies are spread out, but what happened this time was I just got this room, a brief corridor with water, and then all the enemies and treasures were in a single room, which was completely crazy. Sometimes you just get weird layouts like that. And I guess that's one of the things that keeps me coming back to this game, is just sometimes you get some unexpected things that just happen due to the random generation. And like I said, not everything in the game is randomly generated, but quite a lot of it is. So that definitely adds a nice unknown kind of factor to the game. Because, I mean, with games like Wind Waker, sure, I could play them again, but in a case like Wind Waker, you really know everything to expect. You know everything to expect. In this game, there's gonna be a random factor at least somewhere. You can count on that. And here we are, final floor of the snaggered hole. And, definitely the toughest boss we've faced at this point. Though I'm not certain whether or not to say that this thing is more dangerous than a spotty bullbear. It definitely takes more skill to beat one of the spotty bullbear, that's for sure. We've got certainly a lot of fences around here, and I would recommend checking out all the alcoves and just opening them up before you go to fight the boss. Because for this boss, you're probably going to want to retreat into the corners at one point or another. And it's good to have the walls open so you can do that. In addition, you might want to break open the eggs that are usually located back there. Because once you do that, you'll be able to flower up your Pikmin, because they're definitely going to lose their flowers during this fight. Their flowers are going to get knocked off. So just stay away from the center, because this boss can actually teleport. Even though you can't see it, if you get anywhere near the center, you don't even have to be near the center. Like, as soon as you're walking, it can just pop up at any point without you know. Whoa! It's popping up now! There it is! Boss of this dungeon, the Pileated Snagret. This is one horrifying boss. When a lot of people first saw this thing, they flipped. Because this is basically a burrowing Snagret that can chase you. It's not just stationed in the ground. However, it does have limits. It's not going to follow you if you open up these little corners. So, typically it won't. If you hide in a corner during the battle, it won't be able to follow you there, and it won't be able to reach you there. Only if you hide in the very corner. Otherwise, there's no guarantee. It might be able to reach in. As with the burrowing Snagret, I would recommend swarming your Pikmin on its head. However, unlike the burrowing Snagret, it has a lot more HP in defense. In fact, out of everything we fought, it probably has the most HP in defense so far. More than the creeping chrysanthemum, which is saying quite a lot. And for that reason, it's very dangerous. This boss is so dangerous that, for this point in the game, they even give you 2 Queen Candy Pop Buds on this floor. Because they figured that a lot of people would have trouble with it. And they were right. This is one horrifying boss. Oh, I grabbed a Pikmin. This thing's just so ominous, it's just like waiting there to grab the next few. And I tried to throw a Pikmin at it, but not to much avail. Or to no avail, I should say. Anyway, my recommended normal strategy for fighting this boss is bring along a good supply of spicy sprays. Maybe upwards of 5 if you're really feeling nervous. I know that sounds like a lot, but you want to have your Pikmin like constantly under the influence of spicy spray when you're fighting it, just due to the sheer amount of HP and defense that it has. You're going to want a few spicy sprays. Bitter spray, maybe a couple, just in case it catches you in an awkward moment and you kind of want to just pause it so you can get away from it. So this is one of those bosses where I would say you want a lot of sprays and crap for fighting it. And otherwise, the Pikmin that you should use, I'd recommend throwing purples at it when it comes up slowly, otherwise stay away from it. And that's pretty much my best advice that I can give to you. Yellow Pikmin might also be recommended, just to how they can reach up to the head pretty well. Oh no, it killed Louie! Wow, we actually lost a captain. No! Louie is down. Louie, we hardly knew ye, reference to the very first episode of this Let's Play. We've come so far. We tried so hard, it got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter. Had to reference it. No, I didn't, but I did. No. Okay, the Snagret has his round. We were doing really well against him, so I guess it makes sense that it gets in a couple good hits. Alright, but this time, no mercy. We're defeating him. This time we're defeating him before he goes back under. You're done. You're done, Mr. Snagret. And that was a Pileated Snagret. The first of the hard bosses in the game. And, the reward he gives you is kind of like the one that Emperor Bulblax gives you. It's another Gladiformer, another Crippletron. You've done it. That bird beast will trouble you no more. Processing. How curious. What's that impressive mechanized masterpiece? Well, it's kind of cool. Actually, it kind of reminds me of Captain Falcon due to the weird, like, crest thing that it has going on with it. And what's also cool is now we can replenish our Pikmin squads a bit using the Queen Candy Pop Buds. And it looks like our totals, we probably want... what Pikmin should we get more of? I think more reds, probably. Yeah. Okay, cool. And as you can see, Louie isn't even with our party anymore, because the Pileated Snagret killed him. I didn't notice that he was taking so much damage during the dungeon. I think he got a lot of that damage probably in the second floor when I was talking about Sushi and kind of just let him get wrecked by some enemies. Let's not compute. A metal this dense defies the fundamental laws of physics. And yet, if I use this to rework our president's treasured spacesuit... Processing complete. Fabrication of the metal suit Z is now concluded. The suit is now extremely durable. Getting gnawed or stepped on will now produce minimal pain.